Emily, very good to have you on here. Thank you for coming on.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
Jumping right into it with you here, Emily. When did you become interested in music? When did that enter your life?
Um, I would say pretty early. Mainly, I would say it's my dad who influenced me because he's a drummer and he's been playing since he was like 13 or 14, and he he really introduced me to a lot of great music, was always playing classics, classic rock, a lot of Ray Charles, uh stuff like that. And he's from New Orleans, so he really has I love his style and his interests with music. But I would say I was probably like a kid with like maybe 7 when I was really drawn to music and listening to it a lot. And then I started learning music when I was about 13, properly, like where I was really trying. But before that, I was always interested and always wanted to learn guitar. And my sister gave me this old kind of off-brand Strat that she had, that our grandmother gave her, and I would just kind of like look at it and not really know what to do with it. But I knew I was interested. So I guess when I was maybe 7 or 8, and then early teens, I became really like interested and wanted to actually learn about how to play music.
You finally picked it up then. You said
Hmm.
enough staring at it. I got to play the thing.
Yeah.
Nice.
Exactly. Enough just looking. Yeah, time to learn the rudimentary stuff. So yeah, it's kind
But
of how
but
I
you did do your due diligence by looking at it for a bit. So,
yes,
which
yeah.
is
Sometimes you
yeah.
just have to expose yourself to something and just stare at it. And then you finally go for it. And
It not a lot of
yes,
people are talking about that. That's important though. It's an important part of it.
osmosis, of
Yeah.
course. Yeah.
Couple of years staring at it.
Yeah.
Did you take to it
Definitely.
immediately?
I would say not necessarily. I wanted to do lessons for a very long time, and then I finally did, and I'm still friends with my first guitar teacher. He's friends with my dad and I. His name's Joe, and I
Shout out
took
to
lessons
Joe.
with him. Yes, Joe. I took lessons with him every week, and I was actually quite frustrated in the beginning. And I would, because guitar is it's very physically demanding, I would say, like just to learn how to play the chords and all that. So I was very frustrated, and I feel like it took me a while to get comfortable. And but I pushed through it, and I feel like with guitar especially, there's a period of time where you just have to kind of push through, and it's not as immediate like with piano or some other instruments. It's more you get like the sound going earlier. But yeah, I would say it took me a little bit longer. It wasn't the most natural process, but I just kept pushing with it. And yeah, I tried to master it as much as I could. But yeah, still working on it. It's definitely a lifelong endeavor to become comfortable and great at something. So yeah.
Was there a point that it sort of clicked for you?
Yeah, I would say it definitely took a few years, and just consistently practicing. And then as far as the concepts behind some of the like musical concepts, that took a while too, because I I've been a music teacher for a really long time, and I started doing that in high school, like teaching lessons and all that. And I've worked at a few schools, so I I really wanted to understand things at a deeper level. And I feel like first it was kind of you can play and get the sound going, and kind of like write a song, and that comes. But then like later on, you can understand how the notes work together, and like more about theory. And I'm not someone who's like extremely theoretical, but I do think it's really great to understand some of it, and to apply that to writing songs and all of that. But that definitely clicked maybe um, I don't know, 3 or 4 years after I'd started learning. It was all kind of gradual, but yeah, it's quite a journey, like learning to play and all the things that come along with it.
Are you still teaching now?
Mhm. Yeah, it is. I was much more involved in teaching in years past, but I because I worked at a school, and That was like my main job. But I still do private lessons, and I love teaching. It's not as big of a part of my life anymore, but I still really enjoy it. And honestly, I feel like um the older students I've had, because I've in the past few years I've been teaching some older students, like people in their 60s or 70s. And that's been really cool, because I started off like teaching really young people, but it's yeah, it's great to experience what it's like to teach people of different ages, and what they are looking for in learning how to play, and like how music affects their lives, and what they want to do with it. So I try to make it to where it's still fun and not just like, oh, all this theoretical stuff, but approachable, and like, of course, thinking about the song. Like that's the at the end of the day, as long as you're playing something that's fun and that you like, that's the best way to learn. So try to incorporate those theoretical elements with if someone I'm teaching likes a specific style or artist, like always thinking about that first, because if you like what you're playing, you're going to learn much faster and just enjoy it a lot more. So yeah, that's kind of my approach, just like learn stuff and prioritize theory, but also enjoy it. And yeah,
And
that
enjoy theory, kind of mixing those two
yeah,
together. Yeah, yeah.
of course. Yeah,
I
it's
understand. I got you. Like, I'm with you.
sweet.
Um, when did you decide I got to start making my own music? I got to start venturing out on this myself.
Well, I would say it kind of went hand in hand with learning guitar and all of that, because I sang a lot when I was younger, and I did lessons and like some theater and stuff like that. So I was always into singing quite a bit. And I started writing songs when I was like 14 or 15, and I would do like, little performances here and there at school or whatever. But yeah, I guess I was in my teens, early teens, and I really loved writing poetry and just songs and stuff like that. So it kind of all coincided with learning guitar at the same time. And uh yeah, I would say that's kind of around the time it started up.
It was all working out at the same time. Did you end up playing by yourself more in the beginning and then started incorporating jamming with other people? Was that kind of the process that happened?
I would say yes, it was. I kind of started on my own, just writing stuff, and I recorded a few songs. I honestly don't even know where they are anymore, but I did some of my own songs with a friend of mine when I was in high school, and then I would play in a few bands that were part of my school. And then I realized how much I loved being in a group setting and how much that worked for me. And as I got older, I played in a lot of different bands, and I just realized how much I loved that. And doing stuff alone is great too, but if you find a group of people, I feel like it's something so powerful when you're playing with other people. It's it really just connects you on such a deep level. Like everyone I've ever played music with, I never forget them, or that's just such a valuable thing to me. I was in a jazz guitar ensemble in my college, and that was like such, I'm not really into jazz whatsoever, but that was just such a
I hated it. I did not like being in that group, but nevertheless,
no,
it was
well,
it was not good.
yeah, the
I liked the
music
people. I didn't like the
awful,
music.
but the people were great. Yeah, it was something where I don't even know how they let me in that class, because I didn't understand any of the jazz theory. It's like that's really not my forte, but I learned a lot, and it made me kind of push myself, and just the people that were in there were so special. And yeah, it's just I love being in a group setting playing music. And with Chachki, the band I'm in now, that is yeah, such a valuable part of my life. I love Anastasia and Ava so much. And yeah, it's just so much fun to play in a group with people that you are friends with, and such a special bond to share with others. So
Right.
yeah, no, it's great to to have that. And every band is so different. If you play with different groups, you can get so many different things out of it. But yeah, I'm definitely a group person. I love playing music in and not really doing solo stuff as much, but
Since jazz really wasn't your thing, what were you listening to during those times when you weren't listening to jazz?
right. Yeah, I was not
When jazz wasn't on the turntable.
exactly. Yeah, no, nothing against jazz. I think it's a beautiful form in itself. It's just not I'm just have not really delved that much, and maybe later in life I will. I would say so. Actually, what first drew me to guitar, I should mention, is AC/DC, which I think is a lot of people's childhood, band. I don't know. I feel like I know a lot of people that really love them when they're kids, and I've always loved them so much, and I love all of their work, their early stuff. I'm just
Classic New Orleans band. Yes, of course.
yeah, totally. But actually what's funny is my dad got me uh I think it was Rock Band or Guitar Hero had an AC/DC game, and I had a Wii console at the time when I was like maybe 7 or 8. And I don't think he knew that you have to have the special instruments to be able to play it. So I just would put in the AC/DC video game and I couldn't play it. So I would just like play the songs and watch it. And I think it would like I would like fail it or something because I didn't have the right controller. But it was anyway, I don't know. That was kind of like I was like, wow, I like these songs a lot. And
You're going back to the watching phase, which is, as we already
exactly,
established,
yeah,
very
this
important.
completely coincides with the observational phase of my guitar journey.
Yes, yes, that was good.
Yeah,
Yes, I couldn't have said it better. Please go
thank
ahead.
you. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. But yeah, I would say a lot of the stuff I was listening to early on, that really developed my interest in music was classic rock, AC/DC, Led Zeppelin, Southern rock, Leonard Skinner, just all the, I guess, kind of like dad rock. My dad would just like constantly be playing stuff. We used to have the Deep Purple Made in Japan live CD in the car, so that would always be on. And yeah, I was just very really drawn to all that stuff. And to me, still, I love all that classic rock stuff from the 60s and 70s. It's something that doesn't get old for me. Um, and Stevie Wonder as well. I listened to him a lot. And
classic rock, of course.
yeah, yeah, I guess it
Staple.
was kind of all over the place, but that's really what made me kind of just develop an ear for that style of music and want to learn to play that. So a lot of the early stuff that I played was within that realm, I would say. And yeah, there's so much that my dad really just he being a drummer, and I was just always around that. So I think I just naturally took to it very much. This you know straight up rock.
Straight up
Yeah,
rock, the way
yeah,
it's supposed to be. Right.
yeah, totally.
Was there a point that you started to develop your own or incorporating newer bands into your I guess iPod, if you will?
Definitely. Yeah, I it kind of started with that, and then as I got older into my teenhood, I really went into
Classic teenhood.
yes, you really open up to new stuff. I got into some 80s and 90s, was really into The Cure, Smashing Pumpkins for a while, and I love Nirvana as well. And yeah, I guess I I know I'm forgetting so many bands that I've loved and listened to, but
Well, I mean, that's a good
yeah,
jumping off point. It's a good starting point. Yeah.
yeah, but that was it. I guess I kind of just tried to listen to as much as I could through the decades. And yeah, that was I've always been so like rock centric with everything. That's always been my favorite genre. And I, yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anyone I'm forgetting, but I mean, I know there is.
You
Yeah,
got
there's
a
so
good
many.
some good people. You mentioned some good people, that's a good start.
Yeah,
Now
yeah.
you will send me a full Google Doc later on of everybody that you did miss, right?
Everyone. Yes, of
Okay,
course.
yeah, that'll be linked below.
Perfect, perfect.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Uh,
yeah.
and where was this occurring? Where'd you grow up?
Well, I am from Shreveport, Louisiana, so I was born there and I spent a good amount of my childhood there. Most of my family is from like the New Orleans area or deeper into Louisiana, so I grew up kind of up north. And when I was about uh 10, I moved to New Mexico, Albuquerque, New Mexico, and I was there for middle school, which was yeah, it was an interesting time being there. It was very different from Louisiana. And when I was about 13 or 14, I moved to LA. So I lived in like East Side LA for about 10 years. And
Okay.
I guess most of my learning with music happened in California when I lived there. And that was really cool because there's such a music scene there to be a part of. And you are in LA or you're
Orange County. So I
oh,
mean,
nice, nice.
we were neighbors at
Yeah,
one point at the
definitely.
East LA.
Yeah. I consider it home. I guess where most of my friends are and a lot of my family now is in California, so I it's a very special place to me. And I live in New York now, which is still fairly new. I moved here like 2 years ago.
Now,
Yeah.
what drew you to New York? Why are you there now?
Well, it's mainly because of, I would say, music, really, and it's a place that when I was younger, a little bit, like maybe, 5 years ago, I would come here to play um different gigs and different bands I was in, and I always had this thought of like, wow, I'd really love to live here someday if I can. And I that was always in the back of my mind. And a few years ago, it just seemed like the right opportunity, and my bandmates Anastasia and Ava moved here from LA as well, and they really wanted me to move and they were very convincing. So I visited for about 2 weeks in the summer, and it was just it really just captured my heart, and I thought like, yeah, this is the right move. So I just went for it, and yeah, no, it's been a very amazing experience. It's really helped me to grow musically, and it's yeah, it's I do miss California quite a bit, but I am happy to be here. It's a great place.
Not as good as Albuquerque, but
Right.
that's
Yeah.
fine. Moving
Nothing to beat
forward,
on.
yeah, yeah. So as we alluded to before, Chachki is the band that you're in now
Yes.
with Anastasia and Ava.
Hmm.
All the three of you met in Los Angeles originally.
We did.
Okay. Now,
Yeah.
how
Yes.
did you guys cross paths initially?
Well, it's really cool. Uh yeah, it's a cool story. So basically, I had just started playing with some different artists. Like I went to music school for about a year to improve my skills, and then I was kind of just doing auditions and kind of working with different people. And then I got a message on Instagram from Anastasia, and she said that her friend Drew, which is also my friend that I've known a long time, recommended me to her, and they were looking for a new guitarist to play on a few tours with them. And so I saw it and I was like, oh, great. Yeah, I'd love to come try out with you guys. And I listened to some of their songs. And at the time, it was a different band under a different name. And
Which was Pinky Pinky at the time, correct?
yeah,
Okay.
Pinky Pinky. So I went over to Ava's house and we had an audition. I learned a bunch of the songs beforehand, and then we played, and it went really well. And I just remember thinking like after I auditioned with them that I really wanted to play with them because it was so cool to meet other girls that were like my age and that were seemingly into a lot of the same stuff, and we just really clicked. So I thought like, oh, this would be so fun if I could do these tours with them and play with them. And so I remember I like drove home and I was just like, man, I hope they call me, but whatever happens, because auditions are auditions, And then they were like, okay, let's try this out. And so we had like a month to rehearse for these tours that we did, and we got it all together. And then we just like had the best time playing together, and it ended up being so much fun. And we became really great friends very quickly. Like it just really flowed. So it was such a great match, and I'm so grateful we met. And what's really cool as well, we realized that we had been at the same show a few months prior, and we were all at South by Southwest. I was playing with a different band at the time, and I went to one of our mutual friends' shows, and I remember seeing both of them there before I ever knew them. But I
Oh
just remember
wow.
being like, oh, there's these, like, that girl has really red hair. Like, I just remember seeing these girls, didn't know them at all. And then a few months later we met. So it was just really strange because I remember like seeing them, and then after I met them, I was like, oh yeah, like they were at that show, and we were all like, oh my God, that's so funny how life works. Like,
That's yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
that
but it was
I always love those weird
that's
coincidences. I've
yeah,
had that conversation with a few people, like, "Oh, you were at that show." That's always
yeah,
odd. Yeah. What
yes,
do you
totally.
recall the show that you guys were both are all attending?
I think it was at this place called Swan Dive. It's band Lily.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, and we were
Okay.
all there, and yeah, yeah, it was fun. There's so much happening at South by Southwest. It's kind of chaotic, but yeah, it was funny that there was that interesting uh crossing of paths that happened without us even knowing at the time that we
Right.
would be a part of each other's lives. So it was pretty cool.
How familiar were you with Pinky Pinky before joining?
Oh, well, I think I'd definitely heard of them. I'd never seen them play, but yeah, I wasn't terribly familiar. I hadn't ever seen them play or anything like that. So it was really cool to discover of them. And I think that they played at South by Southwest that year that I was playing, so I'm sure I saw their name on the in the booklet or something. I'm sure I it sounded really familiar before I'd met them, but yeah, it was kind of just I'd never seen them, so it was really cool to just learn the songs and discover them and then become part of the band.
Yeah.
At least the final stages of Pinky Pinky, it was cool to be a part of and contribute what I could.
How
Yeah.
long were you in that band for?
Well, we finished the last we did those two tours in 2019, and the last tour was like late 2019, and that was done, and then the pandemic happened relatively soon after, so it was I feel like during the pandemic that band kind of just fizzled out, and then Chachki was reborn within that time. So it was kind of like yeah, just a pretty smooth transition between like just starting a new fresh thing. And because with Pinky Pinky I was really just hired, and I was playing the songs and stuff, but with Chachki I became a member, so it was like we all just kind of united to make this new project come to life. So that was really cool because a lot of times when you play with another artist, which is I was doing that for a while, just kind of like hired playing with other artists, it doesn't really become a permanent fixture in your life, and you don't like become a member with people. But um with this, it just I feel like it was pretty undeniable that we had something special together. So it just made sense for us to be a real band, and it was something that I really wanted to, and we all felt good about, and that's how it came together.
Well, I mean, as long as everybody wanted it, I mean,
Yeah,
that's what's
yeah,
important.
exactly.
Was it a collaborative idea to say let's leave Pinky Pinky behind and let's start Chachki, or did it just sort of what, or did they come to you with, hey, we want to do something new?
I think it was really just like we want to do something new and have something more mature and yeah, it kind of made sense for the new band to have a a new like just
A breath of fresh air and a new change of the name.
yeah, just a change in the lineup of members, like I for me to be part of it, and yeah, I think it was just kind of like that. Yeah, something new and fresh.
Were you surprised by the idea of like, okay, let's do something new, or was it kind of, did you feel like something was about to change?
I felt like something was going to change. I felt like it was the natural course of action,
Mhm.
and it made the most sense, I would say.
That's not what they said, but that's fine. It's no, okay.
Oh my gosh.
That's not their point of view on it, but it's
Right.
that's just
It's my
that's
point of view.
another conversation for another podcast, Emily.
Yes,
That's not this one.
exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly. Exactly.
that's part two. I actually have them in the waiting room. Anastasia and Ava,
Oh
yeah,
shoot.
they're coming in. So look alive, yeah,
Okay. Okay. I'm ready.
yeah, yeah. Just get it together. Okay,
Okay, I'm
here we
ready.
go. Uh, so this was 2019-ish is when we're
Yes.
talking about here. Okay.
2009. Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it hasn't been that long since this idea was even formulated.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Not too long. I guess Chachki kind of became real in 2021, I would say. Like,
Before that, it was fake. It wasn't.
yes, it
Yeah.
was kind of fake, where there wasn't really a name. But yeah, 2020 or 2021, it became a real like a band, the new thing. And yeah, so it hasn't been that many years. It's still relatively new, even though we've all known each other since 2019. So it's yeah, yeah, it's really been quite a journey. And I'm very grateful for all of it. It's yeah, great to play music with people that I love so much. So I'm
That is a plus.
happy for
Yeah,
that.
I can't.
Yeah.
Yeah, again, yeah, that is a plus.
Hmm.
Uh, did Chachki start when you had all moved to New York? Was it after that move that this occurred?
Sort of, yeah. I guess it became it was a little bit disjointed because of the pandemic, and then I moved here in 2021, so they both moved in like during the actual pandemic, and I was still in California. So I guess it kind of was like a gradual process, and then for real became a thing in 2021. That's when it was legitimately, we were all here together. We all were able to work together and get the live show where we wanted it to be. And the recordings were pretty much done. And yeah, I would say it was about like late 2021 that we had our live show together, and it's really it's come a long way, I hope, since the beginning, because it was so strange after having the pandemic time not playing, and then getting used to that again was quite an interesting process. But we yeah, we had to kind of adapt a lot of the songs to make sense for a three-piece, playing them live, which was a fun process, but definitely making the sound very full is priority. So we just tried to do the best we could with that, and yeah, still try to do that too, because we want it to sound very full with three people. And
And that's difficult to do because there are some string arrangements within some of these
totally.
some of the recorded music.
Yes. Mhm.
So I've heard. I've never listened to it. But I had somebody, I paid somebody to listen to it, and they told, that's what they told me. So with these string arrangements in these songs that are on the self-titled album.
Mhm.
Was that a thought process when developing these? Like, how is this going to work out in a live setting? Were you guys always planning for adjusting it
Mhm.
to make it work?
Yes, I think so. So it was I didn't have as much to do with a lot of the arranging, especially with the strings and all of that. But yeah, I
And
think it
you're more
was
horns, you because you're jazz oriented, and that's yeah,
yes,
string
that's
is
where I come in.
mhm,
Exactly.
right.
Yes. Um I think it was really just being able to uh have the idea that in the studio there can be free reign to do whatever, and we can always find a way to adapt it. And I try to play some of the string parts on guitar when we play live, and try to emulate some of that. But I guess yeah, it's really just about like, especially with some of the new stuff we're working on too, we are not limiting ourselves to what our capabilities are with three people, but just thinking like we can make it different, but still honor whatever the recording is, but just play it in a live rendition.
Right, right. Altered a
Yeah,
little bit, but it's still
yeah,
the original thing is still the original seed is still there within the song.
yes, exactly, exactly. So just kind
Right.
of uh yeah, adapting it the best we can. And especially with the song "Come On Sean," there's so many strings in there. And initially I started playing that much more simplistically, but then as time went on and I was more comfortable with that song, I would try to add like some of the details of the strings, and some of the little flourishes that are in there to more emulate the original track. But yeah, it's really cool to have that material to draw from, because it's there's a lot in there to work with. But
Right. And there's a live rendition of that song on YouTube you guys did for some show.
right.
And I do remember hearing that and I was like, whoa, like, it, it does feel different, but
Mhm.
it fits right in to to a more stripped down idea. Because I mean, how many string arrangements are on that studio, album?
Yeah, of course. It would be so difficult to recreate that live unless you had some string players, I suppose.
Which is the next move? You guys are taking the whole string arrangement
Yes, the
on tour.
Philharmonic. But yeah, that's the idea. So just being flexible with recreating things and experimenting with things and all of that. And there's a lot that can be done with a three piece, I think, and there's still so much more room to grow with what we have, I think, and to try. So it's yeah, I always like trying new things, and yeah, just keeping an open mindset with what we can do and recreate in our live renditions.
Were you nervous coming to bringing stuff to the table for the band when creating these initial batch of songs, or did you feel pretty free to, hey, I have an idea for this, let's try this, I have this chord arrangement or whatever it may be?
Oh, well, I guess with with a lot of the past songs, I was not as involved in the writing. I did some of the recording, but I since we were living in different places, it was challenging to do much writing. But with we are doing new songs right now, so and I've contributed a lot to the writing, which has been very fun and really exciting. But yeah, it is kind of nerve-wracking when you are first bringing stuff in. And luckily, I feel like we're all so comfortable with each other that we can just like, even if something doesn't sound super polished right away or exactly how we want it, we can just kind of unabashedly just like share something, and then respectfully just kind of see what angle we're going for and work with each other. We've really developed our ability to collaborate together, which has been great because we were for so long in such a place of just playing live shows over and over. And that was great. That's a great space to be in when you're working on playing and doing justice to live performances. But then it's a very different mindset to be in a creative space and then collaborate with other people. And especially because Anastasia and Ava have been like, they've been best friends since they were 14 or so, and they have their own process that they've had like in Pinky Pinky and bands they were in before. So it's been interesting to fit into that and kind of like learn to work with both of them. But yeah, it's been very rewarding and exciting so far. And I've enjoyed it a lot. So it's been good.
Did you feel like your where you were coming from and how you write was
Mhm.
similar to how they were where they were coming from and how they write, or has it kind of just morphed into one since working with them for this amount of years now, 5 years now?
Yeah, I guess I would say that because I'm so guitar centric, that a lot of things come to me within that kind of I try to figure things out on guitar, and Ava's more of like a piano person. So it's and then Anastasia has uses her voice a lot for like melodies and stuff like that. She comes up with melodies. And I think that's been really good because we each have a different approach with how we write in a way, but they all kind of fit together. And yeah, yeah, it's kind of cool that we have each our own respective instruments to kind of
Pull from.
yeah, pull from. And that seemed to work pretty well so far.
I from an outside perspective, yes, it is working out very well.
Thank you.
I'm endorsing it. I'm signing off on that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
When did that initial trepidation of coming into to the fold with them kind of
Mhm.
cease to exist?
I would say it took some time. It took me just not being fearful of someone not liking something. And
That's a deterrent. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So I think that I basically it didn't take all that long because we had tried things for a while. Even when we were just like playing live and stuff, we would within that time frame we would kind of work on things or bring in ideas and then jam on them a little bit. But yeah, I think we all are very laid back in a way, and it didn't take that long to feel comfortable. And even if someone doesn't like a certain part or something, I feel like we're able to work together to find something that works, or like take one part of one thing and add something. Like we tend to try different things and just kind of like stick through it together and all of that. So yeah, I initially was a little daunted by the fact that, oh, they've been writing together for so long. I don't know how I'm going to fit into this with what I have to offer. But since I I think our styles are so complementary, and if I come up with something and I feel good about it, I feel like extremely comfortable showing them things. And that's a very valuable thing, to just feel comfortable with whatever you have to bring and be okay with letting things go if someone doesn't like it. And that's yeah, just part of collaborating, is being comfortable in that way.
Until you bring it back and rehash it as a different idea and then push it out and they go, we love it. And you go,
Yeah.
aha, I knew I had something here before. I'm glad I didn't throw it out.
Yeah, yeah. Totally. Yeah. No, that's a good point.
Is there anything within music that makes you nervous? Are you ever nervous with music?
Well, I would say if you asked Station Ava, they would definitely confirm this. But there's a few shows that we've played where I just before we play, I just get so nervous and I'm just like, I can't do this. And I just like, but it's like it's kind of that I feel like I've learned to tell myself, you're not nervous, you're excited about playing. And one of my teachers told me that one time. I don't, gosh, I can't remember who, but it's so valuable just to think I have all this energy, and it's because I'm very much looking forward to what I'm gonna do. So I'd say like playing live sometimes makes me nervous because I'm kind of a shy person, so I like there's been times where I'm like, oh my God, the idea of doing this is very daunting. But I think I've gotten past a lot of those nerves, but then they come back when I least expect it, of course. Um,
Just when you think they were gone.
yes, so exactly. I think the thing that makes me nervous is playing live, and then sometimes you're up there and you start thinking about what you're doing, and then you're like, oh no, what am I doing? And then you just forget everything. Oh, it can be rough, but it's okay. It's great that there's that element of anxiety to it. I think that makes it all the better in some ways.
Right.
But yeah, with music in general, feeling nervous, I don't necessarily with much other things, I don't feel too nervous. I mainly feel just like I want to push myself more, and just like with our band, just keep pushing in different directions and trying new things. And I think there's so much to do. And yeah, I guess it's if I'm nervous about anything, it's not fulfilling the potential that I think there is if you push yourself and, just follow your intuition and be authentic with what you're doing. But
That is important.
mhm,
Authenticity.
yes,
I'm
most
working on it myself.
definitely.
When you sit down to create something or just noodle around and try to get something or something comes from noodling around,
Mhm.
is it always changing this process of getting something out of just playing or trying to find something within music?
I would say it's usually the ideas I like the most, I don't necessarily come up with when I'm sitting down. And the girls and I were talking about this recently, how sometimes something will just hit you when you're doing something else, like usually just like a melody or something will come to you when you're not really thinking about it. I feel like that's where I've found the things I've liked the most that I've come up with. Like I've been just like getting ready in the morning, and then I'll think like of a little thing, and then I'll just go sit down and record it on the phone, and show it to Anastasia and Ava later on. But I feel like that's the best way sometimes, is just like letting things come to you and not forcing it. But there is within that, once you get something you like, forcing yourself to develop it, I think. So sometimes you get an idea just randomly, and you like it, but then you have to kind of sit down with it and then like keep pushing to get it to where it needs to be. But also when I'm teaching lessons, like over the pandemic, I was teaching online a lot at the school, which that was challenging because especially because Zoom has so many audio problems. That was really
I'm sorry. What'd you just
times.
say there?
Oh,
Was it?
it's
I'm
don't
I'm
don't
I'm
worry about
I'm
it.
fucking I'm
I'm
fucking
kidding.
with you.
I know, I'm kidding too.
And like
Yeah,
you got me. You got me there. You're a
I'm glad.
trickster. You're a
I
jokester. You're a trickster.
really try. Uh,
You're
thank you.
doing it.
I'm glad to hear I'm
Getting me on my own podcast, Emily.
I know, it's pretty low for me.
That's
Uh,
very sneaky. No,
yes,
but
yes.
getting
But
back to the
yeah,
show.
I would be on Zoom, and before I would teach, sometimes I would just have my guitar, and I'd be like sitting there waiting for the lesson or something, and then I would like come up with something while I was waiting because I wasn't really thinking about it. I was just thinking like, okay, I'm going to teach a lesson, so I'm just here, and then I'd think, oh, that's kind of interesting. Like I'll record that or something. So I feel like when you're not forcing things, sometimes it just happens, and it's kind of cool when that works out. But it can go both ways sometimes. Like yeah, just depends on uh on the day, I suppose. Yeah.
Thursday's different than Friday. Yeah,
Yes,
right.
absolutely.
Do you ever shelve ideas that you can't really you're not able to hash out in its entirety, or it's not, it's there's, there's something there, but you just haven't found it yet.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, the girls and I definitely have a few songs that we are just like we can't look at this thing anymore, or we can't do this right now. So we're just gonna put it away and let it simmer somewhere um in the background. For sure. We do have a fair share of songs, but sometimes songs take longer to come to fruition, or maybe they never do. And that's okay. There's a beauty in that, I think, to just like have a verse and then maybe it just is alone for a long time until the right chorus comes along. But I don't know, that sounds really cheesy, but
No, but that is the truth. Yeah, sometimes it just has to simmer, and then it's
yeah,
paired with something else later on.
yeah, yeah. But most definitely, I think some songs just flow and they come together perfectly, and then some just need more time. And it's good to accept when that happens and be okay with putting things away if they don't feel right.
Being okay with putting things away. That sounds good.
Mm,
Yeah. That's a good way to put it, Emily. I
thank you.
jot that down and shelve it.
Yes, I'll put it on a shelf and I will not look at it for a long time.
And then you come across it. What the fuck was this? This was, yeah. Why
Exactly.
why isn't
Well,
this in a song yet?
yeah, completely. Yeah.
Right. With this first album was helped, or it was produced by the Lemon Twigs, or they had the hand in it.
Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
they did. They produced the whole album. It was recorded at their parents' house in their basement, and then I think they moved all the equipment to it was like a rehearsal space that they had in Midtown for a while, and that's where we recorded some when I visited, and um that's uh that's where it was mostly done, I think. At least the tracking part of it, the recording part.
We'll check with them, and then we'll
Yeah,
get their side of the
yeah.
story.
But it was, yeah, it was produced by them, and I think they did a lot on it. They arranged a lot of it, and um definitely had an influence on how it came together, for sure.
Would it be vastly different than what it was if they weren't involved?
I think so. No, I think that the songs were a lot of them were even from like Pinky Pinky era, like that had been, or I mean, because I didn't have as big of a part of the writing process, I'm not 100% sure, but I think a lot of the songs were existent from Anastasia and Ava, like way before, then some of them were also written during that time as well. But I don't think it would be all that different. I think it's mainly Anastasia and Ava's doing, and the Lemon Twigs really did help with bringing their magic to it and their production skills and all of that. Uh, but I don't think it would be all that different. But it is very special as it is. I don't think I wouldn't want it to be any other way than how it is. It's very I love that album, and it's been so great to play those songs and be close with those songs for a number of years now. And yeah, I think it all came together very beautifully. But
What was it like, kind of getting immersed into these songs that you didn't have a huge hand in writing?
yeah, it was definitely, it took time to learn them because some of the songs are pretty complicated, and I also was trying to play rhythm and lead at the same time and kind of learn to switch between those, and yeah, so I guess I really just threw myself into being tasked with making it the best it could be live. And the girls told me like to put as much of my own spin on things as possible. So a lot of the solos and stuff, like for some of the songs, I just am like, when we play it live, I kind of improvise for some of them and all of that. So they were not like, oh, you have to play it exactly as is or anything like that. But yeah, it was pretty fun because I loved the songs, so it was easy to learn them, I would say, for the most part. Some of them have some really wild chords and all of that, but that was, it's all good once you learn it. it's all fine. But
I thought you were gonna say easy, and I was like, that does not seem easy. I thought that that was how you're gonna end that
no,
sentence.
I mean, it wasn't
Pretty,
easy,
it's
but
secondhand. It's very easy now. Yeah, it's
no,
very
no. I mean,
natural.
well, now I guess because we've been playing those songs for years, it feels pretty second nature, but it definitely took time, and I just wanted to do everything justice as much as I could. And yeah, we've getting to play live so much in the past few years has been so great for us becoming close as a band, and I think has really made made us so much stronger as musicians, and individually and together. But yeah, that's kind of the process there.
It is what it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, filming these four, I believe it is four
Mhm.
videos
Yes.
for
Mhm.
these songs. How was that for you? How was that coming into
Oh,
the
it's so fun.
to film these things?
It was great. No, I the videos we've done have been just the most fun ever. Like, um, well, we did the first video, Dizzy, with our friend Gila, and that was in a day that came together really, really well. It was super fun. It was just like us three and Gila, and then Ava's grandfather and mom were there to help us out. And two of our videos have been done with our friend Ambar, and she did Wish You Were a Girl, and she also did Come On Sean. Those were, she's amazing. Ambar is, she's just like such a visionary and has the best ideas. And she's a lovely person as well. So that's been so fun to work with her, and her creativity is just amazing, and her ideas that she has. And then we did a video called oh my gosh, Don't Hang Up on Me with our friend Stephanie. And we did that on my birthday. That was one of my favorite. I just have such a beautiful memory of that day because it was my birthday, and we did the video all in one day. And we were in Altadena and kind of like Pasadena area, Highland, or maybe not Highland Park, but kind of East LA for a lot of it, which is like my favorite part of town over there. And
Not as good as Albuquerque, but
right,
it's right.
that's first on the
Close
list.
close
Close
second.
second. Yes.
Well,
And
Shreveport, if we're being,
yeah,
it's top three.
maybe it's three. Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe it's the third. But yeah, it was such a great day. I just remember we took the photo for the album cover that day.
Oh
Uh,
wow.
yeah, and we were just kind of like running around, and yeah, it was beautiful weather, and I just remember like really enjoying my birthday that day. It was like such a fun thing to do a video on that day.
One of the
And
best birthdays
yeah,
you say? Is that in
I would say,
contention?
yeah, in recent times. Yeah, it was
Oh,
just because we had fun doing it, and yeah, it was just like such a positive experience, and I love how that video turned out. And yeah, no, it's doing videos is always so much fun. I'm looking forward to doing more at some point. But yeah, my memories of putting them together are very positive and very colorful, fun memories.
was that a discussion of the visual aspect of this band as well as the audio aspect?
On how we wanted the portrayal of the sound to be, kind of thing.
Yeah.
I guess I I would say maybe we didn't discuss it all that much. I think it was just the general idea of like cute tchotchkes, like toys, and that idea, like we all love cute things. And Ambar, I think, really picked up on that, especially in her videos, because we have a lot of curated looks of tchotchkes and just really nice colors and all of that. But it wasn't terribly intentional, I would say. It's just kind of but I think it is very authentic. Like it's very a lot of the videos visually I think represent the songs very well. And I think that they fit together very well. But it wasn't necessarily planned in a sense, like from us. I think we trusted the people we were working with put together some great things, and we kind of advised on a few things, but a lot of it has been Ambar's ideas, and Stephanie had the idea for the video Don't Hang Up on Me. And yeah, I think we just went with our intuition and thought like, oh yeah, that's great, like we feel great about this idea or not. And yeah, just came
Then
together
the
really
intuition was
naturally.
correct. Yeah, let me tell you that the intuition was
Thank
on
you.
par.
Thank you.
Um, with this band being so new, and this is kind of an open-ended question here, but what do you hope to see for the future of the band? I know it's a very big question there, but we're at the end here, Emily. So
Yeah, gosh, crazy. Guess we are. The future of the band. Well, I do have very high hopes, I would say. I'm very excited about the future because what's really good, I think, is that the three of us are all very much on the same page with our ideas and just like where how we feel about things. We're all very passionate about this band, and it means the world to all of us to get to write together and do things together and be in a band together. So I would say my hopes are just that we can put out some songs that are authentic and that we feel great about and that people will enjoy, and play more shows. We have a show in I think in a week. Yeah, it's in about a week that we're playing. So I think my hopes for the future are that we continue to play, continue to write songs together, and just to grow in a very positive way and be able to continue on with everything. And yeah, we really we have a lot of fun with it. So I'm mainly just very grateful to get to share this experience with two of my closest friends and continue to figure things out together and write things together is a blessing.
that's awesome.
Thank you.
Um, that's a great cap on that question there, Emily, and I do appreciate coming on.
Yeah.
It's been a pleasure to sit down and chat with you. But before I let you go, I got some promo to do here.
Okay.
So
Yeah. Of course.
Chachki's music streaming everywhere, wherever you get your music, that's where you could find it. And those four videos that were released will all be linked below for everybody to go check out because I highly recommend it. They're awesome, fantastic videos, and everybody could go to the website to get not tickets, but stay up to date with news and in this sort of
Oh
stuff.
yes.
News and updates can be found there at Chachki Music. Chachki, yeah, Chachki Music.
Music.com.
That can be
It is.
found yeah. And even if it's not, I mean, just go there anyways. Just go,
Yeah.
yeah.
Go see what's on there on
Just
that
go
webpage.
check it out. Check it out for us. Let us know what's there. But and everybody can stay up to date with all the other news and shows and tours and all that good stuff by following the band on Instagram at Chachki Music. Um, all one word, I guess you could say, no underscores, just straight across.
Yes.
And this debut album, self-titled Tchotchke album, can be found at orgmusic.com, and that'll all be linked below for whatever you're listening to this on. And do we have anything else to promote, Emily, before we wrap it up here?
Well, we are playing in Mexico City on the 20th. Oh gosh, I think it's the 23rd. I just want to double check so I don't get the wrong date. I think it's the 23rd though. I'm pretty positive.
I'm
Uh,
I'm 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 stoked that it's happening, but this is gonna be out after that.
oh, okay.
But just
Never
for me
mind.
though,
Yeah.
just for me, is it the
Okay, yeah,
23rd?
we're playing next week at in Mexico City at the Treasure Club International event. So that should be fun. We're very excited for it. And don't worry about coming there because it's already happened. If
So
but yeah,
since it already, how did that go? How was that? How was that
it
show?
was a great fun time. It was very nice.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah. I heard it was fantastic.
Thank you.
And
Yeah, I hope
was
so.
Ozzy Osbourne? Did he play with you guys,
It,
or was he
yes,
just
he
hanging
came
out?
on for a special guest appearance on our song "You'll Remember Me," and yeah, he brought the house down. So we're very grateful that he could be a part of it.
What a heck of a performance there.
No, I can't believe it all came together, but
Yeah,
yep,
it's
there
pretty
it was.
crazy.
Yeah.
And that all happened on the 23rd
Yeah,
of
let's hope
February.
let's hope that's the right day. Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yes,
Emily, I do appreciate you coming on. Thank you
of
so much.
course.
And I'm gonna stop recording this. I'll talk to you in a minute, okay?
Sounds good.